Imagine this. You're walking through the lively streets of Singapore, the air filled with the aroma of sizzling satay, the hum of the bustling city around you. You reach into your pocket and pull out some change. Among the coins, there's a tiny 10-cent piece, small, lightweight, and often overlooked. But what if I told you that this little coin holds secrets? A rich history, unique designs, and even unexpected value that most people don't realize. This is not just a coin. It's a symbol of Singapore's progress, a collectible treasure, and a silent storyteller of the nation's economy. Whether you have one of these in your collection or you've never paid much attention to them before, today we'll unlock the fascinating journey of the Singapore 10-cent coin, from its origins to its hidden worth. Let's dive deep into the story of this tiny yet mighty coin. To understand the importance of the 10-cent coin, we need to go back to the 1960s. Singapore had just gained independence, and with independence came the need for a new national currency. Before that, Singapore had been using the Malayan and British Borneo dollar. But in 1967, the country introduced its own set of coins. Among them was the first ever Singapore 10-cent coin. The first version of this coin was simple yet elegant. Made of copper nickel, it had a smooth, rounded edge and a straightforward design. On one side, the bold number 10 stood proudly, surrounded by the words Singapore and the year of minting. The other side featured the national coat of arms, symbolizing strength and unity. This coin was a representation of a young nation finding its footing in the world, but little did anyone know. This small coin would soon undergo several changes, each one telling a new chapter in Singapore's story. As the years passed, Singapore's economy grew rapidly. With modernization came changes in its currency, and the humble 10-cent coin was no exception. In 1985, the government decided to revamp the entire coin series, including the 10-cent piece. This time, the design took on a new identity, one that would become iconic in Singapore's coinage history. The new version featured a beautifully detailed seahorse on one side. At first glance, you might wonder why a seahorse was chosen for such a common coin. But in Singapore, the seahorse is more than just a sea creature. It represents resilience, adaptability, and the country's deep connection to the sea. Singapore's geographical position has always made it a key maritime hub, and the seahorse perfectly symbolizes that heritage. This design wasn't just aesthetically pleasing, it was deeply meaningful. Aside from the design, another major change happened behind the scenes. The material of the coin was switched from copper nickel to a lighter, nickel-plated steel. This made the coins more cost-effective to produce while still maintaining their durability. But this shift also led to an interesting phenomenon. Older versions of the coin became slightly more sought after by collectors. While most people wouldn't think twice about a regular 10-cent coin, those from the earlier years suddenly held a different kind of value. Over time, more subtle modifications were made to the 10-cent coin, with each version reflecting the evolving identity of Singapore. By 2013, the third series of Singapore's coins was introduced, keeping a familiar seahorse design but refining its details. The size remained compact, making it one of the smallest coins in circulation. However, despite its size, its significance in daily transactions never faded. Beyond its design and material changes, the Singapore 10-cent coin has an interesting role in daily life. For many, it's just spare change used to pay for bus fares, vending machines, or small purchases. But for coin collectors, certain versions of this coin hold far more value than their face value suggests. Some rare years, minting errors, or special variations can make them highly desirable. For example, coins with misprints, double strikes, or off-center designs are considered rarities in the numismatic world. Even slight differences in font style or the thickness of the number 10 can make a huge difference in a coin's worth. Some collectors even seek out old versions from the 1960s and 70s, believing them to be a part of Singapore's historical legacy. There's something fascinating about the way a small, everyday object like a coin can carry so much history. Every scratch, every worn-out edge, and every faded engraving tells a story of the countless hands it's passed through. From the street vendors at hawker centers to the school kids buying snacks, this tiny coin has played a role in Singapore's daily life for decades. But perhaps the most surprising aspect of the Singapore 10-cent coin is how its value can go beyond just money. Some people collect these coins not for profit, but as a way to preserve a piece of Singaporean culture. Holding on to an old 10-cent coin is like holding on to a memory, a reminder of how far the country has come and how something as small as a coin can reflect an entire nation's journey. Even though digital payments and cashless transactions are becoming the norm, the 10-cent coin still remains in circulation, quietly continuing its legacy. But how much longer will it last? Will future generations even recognize it? Or will it one day become a rare collectible from the past? Only time will tell, but for now, this little coin still holds its place in Singapore's pockets and in its history. The Singapore 10-cent coin might seem like just another piece of pocket change, but there's a whole world hidden within its small, unassuming frame. Every coin has a story, and this one is no exception. The more you look into it, the more you realize that even the smallest details have meaning. The weight, the texture, the way the light reflects off its surface. Everything about it is intentional. It's not just a tool for transactions. It's a piece of history, a tiny artifact that has passed through countless hands over the years. At first glance, it's easy to overlook. It's one of the smaller coins in Singapore's currency system, and it doesn't carry much value in everyday purchases. But the more you study it, the more you realize how much craftsmanship has gone into it. The seahorse design alone is a masterpiece, intricately detailed despite the limited space available. There's something fascinating about how the fine lines create a sense of motion, making the seahorse seem as if it's floating in the currents of the sea. Most people never stop to appreciate the design of their coins, but for collectors, these details make all the difference. The Singapore 10-cent coin has seen several changes over the years, and each version has its own unique characteristics. From differences in metal composition to slight modifications in engraving styles, these variations are what makes certain coins stand out. Even tiny misprints, barely noticeable to the untrained eye, can turn an ordinary coin into a valuable collector's item. Collectors often talk about the thrill of discovering something rare, something unique. It's not just about the monetary value. It's about the history behind it. Holding an older version of the 10-cent coin feels like holding a piece of the past. You start wondering about the people who use it, the transactions it was a part of, and how many pockets it's traveled through over the years. There's something incredibly satisfying about knowing that a simple coin can connect you to decades of history. One of the most intriguing aspects of coin collecting is the search for minting errors. A slight misalignment in the printing process, a faint doubling of the numbers, or even an offset or strike can make a coin significantly more valuable. Some collectors spend years searching for these rare errors, knowing that they can turn an ordinary coin into a sought-after treasure. Even small details, like the thickness of the engraving or a barely noticeable variation in font, can make a huge difference in value. Coins are a reflection of the times they were minted in. The materials used, the designs chosen, and even the way they age over time all tell a story. The shift from copper-nickel to nickel-plated steel wasn't just a random decision. It was a reflection of Singapore's changing economy and the need for cost-efficient production. Each material has its own unique properties, affecting everything from the coin's weight to the way it feels in your hand. Over the years, different batches of the 10-cent coin have had slight variations, some more noticeable than others. Even coins minted in different years can have subtle differences, making each one slightly unique. For collectors, these differences add another layer of depth to their search. Finding a specific year, a rare variation, or an exceptionally well-preserved piece can feel like uncovering a hidden treasure. For most people, coins are just a means of exchange, but for those who take the time to study them, they become windows into the past. The Singapore 10-cent coin has been around for decades, quietly playing its role in everyday transactions. But how long will it continue to be in circulation? As the world moves toward digital payments, physical coins are slowly becoming less common. Some countries have already phased out smaller denominations, and it's possible that one day, the 10-cent coin will be just a memory. That's what makes collecting so important. Coins like these may seem ordinary now, but in a few decades, they could become rare artifacts. Preserving them isn't just about their potential future value. It's about keeping a piece of history alive. Looking at an old 10-cent coin years from now will be like stepping back in time, remembering a Singapore that existed before cashless transactions took over. There's something special about the way a coin ages. The scratches, the worn edges, the faded engravings, all of these marks tell a story. Every coin has been on a journey, passing through hands, pockets, and cash registers, each exchange adding to its history. Some coins stay in circulation for decades, while others disappear quickly, making certain years harder to find. For those who love the hunt, coin collecting isn't just a hobby. It's an adventure. Searching through old coin jars, visiting antique shops, trading with fellow collectors, and researching minting histories all add to the excitement. The Singapore 10-cent coin might not be the rarest or most valuable coin out there, but it has its own unique charm. Its history, its design, and its variations make it an interesting piece to study and collect. Even though digital payments are becoming more common, physical currency still holds a certain magic. There's something satisfying about holding a well-crafted coin, feeling its weight, and knowing that it represents a small part of a nation's economy. The Singapore 10-cent coin may be small, but its story is anything but insignificant. Whether you're a casual collector, a numismatic expert, or just someone who loves discovering hidden details in everyday objects, this coin has something to offer. As time goes on, fewer people pay attention to these small coins. They'll be used less and less, eventually becoming rare finds in old drawers and forgotten piggy banks. But for those who appreciate history, these coins will always be more than just metal and numbers. They are reminders of a time when every cent mattered, when physical money was an essential part of daily life, and when even the smallest coin had a story to tell. The Singapore 10-cent coin may seem small in both size and value, but significance goes far beyond what most people realize. Coins like these have been an essential part of daily transactions for decades, yet their true worth is often overlooked. While many people see them as nothing more than spare change, collectors and numismatists understand their historical importance, hidden details, and potential future value. One of the most intriguing things about any coin is how its worth can change over time. Today's common coin can become a collector's gem in the future, depending on factors like rarity, demand, and historical context. The Singapore 10-cent coin is no exception. While it may not hold a high face value, its significance in Singapore's monetary system and its unique design make a fascinating piece for those who appreciate the art of coin collecting. Coins gain value in different ways. Some become rare due to limited mintage, others due to minting errors, and some because they are discontinued altogether. The 10-cent coin has undergone several design and material changes over the years, and each version carries its own unique characteristics. The earlier versions made of copper nickel are now much harder to find in circulation, while the more recent nickel-plated steel versions are still commonly used. Over time, as older coins disappear from everyday transactions, their scarcity will naturally increase, making them more desirable collectors. Many people don't realize that even minor imperfections in a coin can dramatically increase its worth. A slight misalignment in the minting process, an off-center strike, or a faint doubling of an image can turn an ordinary coin into a sought-after treasure. For this reason, collectors are always on the lookout for Singapore 10-cent coins with minting errors. These small mistakes, often unnoticed by the general public, can add significant value to a coin. The condition of a coin also plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that have remained in pristine condition over the years, free from scratches or wear, can fetch much higher prices in the collector's market. This is why coin grading is so important. A well-preserved 10-cent coin from an earlier minting year could be worth far more than its face value, simply because it has been kept in excellent condition. Some collectors focus on finding complete sets of coins from different years, while others look for specific variations or errors. The Singapore 10-cent coin has been in circulation for decades, which means there are many different versions to collect. Some of the most dedicated collectors aim to build comprehensive collections, tracking down coins from every year and every material change. The challenge of completing such a collection makes the process even more exciting. Coins like the Singapore 10-cent piece are also fascinating because they reflect the history and development of the country. Each version of the coin tells a different story, from the early days of Singapore's independence to the more recent advancements in its currency system. The transition from copper nickel to nickel-plated steel wasn't just a minor adjustment. It was a reflection of Singapore's evolving economy and the need for more cost-effective production methods. As technology continues to advance, physical cash is becoming less common in daily transactions. Many countries around the world are gradually moving toward cashless payment systems, and Singapore is no exception. With mobile payments, digital wallets, and contactless transactions becoming the norm, the role of physical coins is slowly diminishing. This raises an important question. How much longer will the 10-cent coin remain in circulation? If the 10-cent coin is eventually discontinued, it could quickly become a valuable collectible. Coins that are no longer produced tend to rise in value over time as they become harder to find. This has happened with many coins throughout history,